In the upcoming 2024 presidential race, which is poised to be pivotal, the contrasting stances of Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump on key national concerns are clear. Their divergent approaches to a spectrum of topics, from daily bread and butter issues to the broader framework of governance, are particularly pronounced. Let's examine the positions and proposed initiatives of both Harris and Trump on several critical matters. Abortion. Harris advocates for a federal right to abortion and aims to curb state-level bans prior to fetal viability. She has been an outspoken supporter of abortion rights.
I started my career as a prosecutor, and so I made the decision early in my life that I wanted to do the work that was about protecting the most vulnerable among us.
Notably making a historic visit to an abortion clinic as the first vice president to do so.
When Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedoms as President of the United States, I will so proudly sign it into law.
Trump's Supreme Court appointments facilitated the reversal of Roe v. Wade, thereby eliminating federal abortion protections. He has indicated that he would not endorse a nationwide abortion ban but supports state autonomy in imposing restrictions.
My view is now that we have abortion where everybody wanted it from a legal standpoint, the states will determine by vote or legislation or perhaps both, and whatever they decide must be the law of the land, in this case, the law of the state.
Climate. Harris endorses the Biden administration's climate policy framework, advocating for renewable energy subsidies and environmental justice initiatives, particularly for communities disproportionately affected by climate change.
Well, the former president had said that climate change is a hoax. What we know is that it is very real, and I am proud that as vice president over the last 4 years, we have invested $1 trillion in a clean energy economy, while we have also increased domestic gas production to historic levels.
Trump rejects mainstream climate science, criticizes renewable energy, and advocates for unrestricted fossil fuel production. His administration reversed over 100 environmental regulations, and he intends to continue this approach if re-elected.
I made a pledge to your state that you have the highest energy costs in the country. In the first year, they're going to be reduced by 50% because we are going to drill, baby, drill.
Crime. Harris has shifted her stance to support increased funding for law enforcement, contrasting her previous campaign's view that adding officers wouldn't enhance community safety.
That the United States Congress, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Senate, came up with a border security bill, which I supported. And that bill would have put 1,500 more border agents on the border to help those folks who are working there right now overtime trying to do their job.
She has also been involved in advocating for significant criminal justice reforms in 2019, although her current stance on these reforms is not explicitly confirmed. Trump has expressed intentions to deploy the military to cities governed by Democrats, despite a drop in crime rates indicated by FBI statistics. He signed a criminal justice reform bill during his presidency but has since advocated for harsher penalties and less due process, opposing gun restrictions.
Over the past 4 years, the Marxist left has waged a vicious war on law enforcement in our country. They've taken away the dignity and the spirit and the life of some of these police officers, and that's why you see it. The crime is so out of control.
Economy. Harris endorses the Biden administration's infrastructure and renewable energy spending, advocates for a ban on price gouging, housing incentives, and expanded tax credits for middle and low-income individuals, proposing to fund these through higher taxes on corporations and the wealthy.
Together, we will build what I call an opportunity economy. I will make it a top priority to bring down costs and increase economic security for all Americans.
Trump, during his presidency, implemented significant tax cuts and engaged in protectionist trade policies, including a trade war with China. He aims to further reduce taxes and introduce more extensive tariffs, pledges to maintain Social Security and Medicare benefits, but lacks a clear plan to ensure the program's solvency.
We're cutting the business tax from 21% to 15%, which makes us the most competitive tax anywhere on the planet, but only for those who make their product in the USA.
Immigration. Harris has criticized several Trump-era immigration policies but has supported some Biden decisions to reinstate Trump-era policies, such as restrictions on asylum seekers, due to a surge in illegal border crossings. She is also working to address the root causes of migration by securing private funding for development projects in Latin America. Trump, known for his strict immigration policies, including family separations, aims to deport millions of undocumented immigrants if re-elected. He has promised to finish constructing the border wall and impose further restrictions.
To seal the border, I wanted a sealed border. Again, come in, but come in legal. You know how unfair it is? And now they see these people pour into our country at levels that are unprecedented. It's so unfair. And we're not going to do it. We're not going to stand for it. That means two things in day one, right? Drill, baby, drill, and close our borders.
Israel and Gaza. Harris supports Israel's right to self-defense and maintains that the U.S. should continue providing military aid to Israel, while also advocating for a ceasefire and highlighting the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. She backs a two-state solution.
I support Israel's ability to defend itself, and I support the need for Palestinians to have dignity, self-determination, and security as we move forward and get a two-state deal done. But right now, the thing we need to get done is this hostage deal and this ceasefire deal. We need a ceasefire. We need the hostage deal.
Trump positions himself as a strong supporter of Israel and has previously taken actions favorable to the country. He supports Israel in its conflict with Gaza, has criticized pro-Palestinian protests in the U.S., and has recently expressed doubts about the viability of a two-state solution.
If I do win, Israel will be safe and secure, and we will stop the toxic poison of anti-Semitism from spreading all over America and all over the world. We'll get it stopped. But if I don't win, I believe Israel will be eradicated